Think about your everyday life. You get up in the morning, brush your teeth, do your hair, fold your clothes, wash the dishes, walk, drive. Now imagine all of this being taken away from you in just the blink of an eye.
It's been really hard. No one truly understands how awful ALS is and how frustrating it is for someone with ALS to not be able to perform simple everyday tasks. But on top of that, between everyday necessities and medical expenses, things have really started to add up. So we're making this video to try and not only raise some money for our mom, but to reach outside of our community and raise awareness for all ALS patients out there and to try and find a cure for this terrible disease.
Starting in June of 2015, my mom had been experiencing some pain within her hands. Originally it was diagnosed as carpal tunnel, but we could see that it was much more than that. Working in the same work environment as my mom, I was able to see the struggle she had every day, slowly progressing to her legs. And then as it went on, after she told us in December, she wasn't able to walk. Come January and February of this year, she stopped driving. Come March, she was unable to get herself around the house. Now here in April and May, we are experiencing times where we have to go over and help her. And it's more than just help, it's really a reliability. So our mom spends a lot of time sitting on the couch, trying to figure out how she can help find a cure for herself, what doctors are out there, and just what she can do to live a normal life again.
When my mom lost the ability to walk, I knew that it was time to change my schedule around. And so it went from going home and playing video games to going straight to my mom's house and helping her out around the house for multiple hours.
We sort of knew that something was coming, we weren't sure what. We knew that ALS was a possibility, but it was just one of those things where I thought, no way, not possible. And then it seemed like right as we were told, hey, mom's got ALS, that everything started picking up and it just progressed and progressed. And she went from walking to walking with a walker to pushing herself in the walker to not really being able to walk unassisted, and then to not being able to walk at all.
This disease started when I was cake decorating, and it started in my right hand. They thought that I had carpal tunnel. So I went to have an EMG done in June of 2015, and in July I got the appointment with the hand specialist, and he told me that I didn't have carpal tunnel in this hand, but I did have a little in my left hand. Suggested I see a neurologist. Well, it takes 3 months to get into a neurologist, so I finally got into one on September 23rd. She was very good and wanted to do another EMG. So she called the hospital and she got me in the next day and did one, and she alluded to ALS, but she couldn't confirm that because she needed more proof. So at that point I was limping and I thought that I needed orthotics, so I got orthotics, and it just became progressively worse. So the neurologist, she did another EMG, and then she had me do a brain scan, MRI of my brain, my thoracic, and my cervical spine, and that all came back normal. And on December 3rd, she did another EMG. It was the third and final one, which she determined was ALS. So I just said, okay, what do we do now? So she put me on Riluzole, and that's supposed to slow down the progression of the disease. I don't know how much it really did, because sometimes it works for some people and sometimes it doesn't. Between probably the whole month of January, it got progressively worse. I went from walking on my own in December to walking with a rollator in January and February, and by March I was barely walking with the rollator, and I couldn't walk a few feet without it. And from March till April, right until a couple of weeks ago, I was walking with the rollator and barely standing, and then I just kept falling. So now I'm not walking, now I'm using a wheelchair. And my nice new transport wheelchair fits through all our doorways and is much more easy to use around the house. I got a new chair the other day. This is a loaner from the ALS chapter of Northern Ohio. They have a loan closet, so it's a lift chair, and what it does is it can almost stand me up to help somebody transfer me from this to the wheelchair. It's a disease that doesn't give any warning. It could be good one day and, well, like the next, just nothing. My left and my right side are, my right side is weak, but my left side is getting weaker. I can feel it in my hands. It's kind of hard to pick things up sometimes. The doctor says that I may lose my ability to swallow before I lose the ability to breathe on my own, because it started in my right hand and those nerves are connected up to my neck. So we're looking into that and seeing what we're going to do next. But ALS is, people with ALS live basically by technology, because there really isn't any kind of medication that can do anything. Riluzole is the only one that's approved by the FDA. It has brought my family back together, though. So I've always been the glass half full. And I'm happy that everybody's getting along a lot better than what they did before. After 5 years, my sister's finally talking to me again. And my kids and my husband are on a speaking level, whereas they weren't so much before, as so much as a hello and goodbye. So every day I just try to think of something positive. And I'm happy to wake up every day and keep going. And I'm grateful to all the people that have stepped up to just pitch in and help, and they want to do it, they insist on doing it, and it's a very humbling disease. And I just love them all. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache, and I'll rise up 1,000 times again.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. You, when the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times.